Oh, this is Bobby at Copal TV Repair. Today with a Vizio P502UI, and this is a dual video. Number one is a troubleshooting trick. Number two is a functionality proof for a board that we just finished servicing for a customer. Number one, when you have that TV to come up and the light indicator lights up white for a second, then goes dark, and then the TV does respond to a power on button, and the lights don't come up. It stays dark. Because of so many LED problems lately with Vizio and every other types of TVs, it's easy to assume that the problem is in the light strips. If you hook up an HDMI and you press the input button on the remote sufficient times, or input, enter, or just input and wait, the second pressing of input moves to the next input in the list. Eventually you might get signal. You may get audio out of the TV if you have signal coming from the HDMI, and this would tell you that the main board is pretty much working. It's not guaranteed that it's 100% working, but if you can never get to that, chances are the main board isn't working if you don't have any better ways to troubleshoot. And especially if you get sound like we did, you may wonder, is really that board bad or not? Could it be the classic LED lights? Now, this TV uses an active matrix of LEDs. There is a lot of them. Let me think, 4 and 4/8. So on each cable there are 16 actually. 16 groups. 1, 2, 3. Am I doing wrong? 1, 2, 3, 4 white cables, another 8. 16, that's right, 16 per cable, 4 cables. Those are 64 sections of the LED matrix that makes up the screen are dynamically controlled by the LED driver, which gets information from where to light from the main board. This cable transmits the information about the picture, and I don't know who decides. Honestly, I think that the main board decides. This is simply the execution, which enables the current sensor for 16 circuits. So you can measure all 16. There are 4 minuses and 2 pluses, ones on each side. Those are 2 row connectors. The first 2, the red and the white on the left, they're shorted together, and it's the same thing. And then there are 4 minus connections for 4 circuits that are individually lit up, and you can test them with a LED meter, and you can find that all of them work fine. So long story short, this is one of the cases where where the problem is not in the LED strips. The problem ends up being in the main board, and this is a main board that we just fixed today. I will show the back of it. This is our label with today's date and the Q sign. Basically, that's another way of doing the same. And I just want to show that this is, I don't know if you can see it, but it says no signal, lights up, and works fine. And customer who sent it has put that label on top of the heatsink. Those boards get really hot when they work, and this is not a good idea to stop the heat dissipations like this. We're gonna stick it somewhere here so that customer knows this is their board, but don't obstruct pathways of heat dissipation. This is your board, and this is how it looks on the back with today's date, 6/10. That is all for now. Thanks a lot, and best of luck with your repairs.